Om Shanti, everyone. So I hope everybody is doing super well today. It's been a while since I came and said hello from Ile d'Orléans Island. We still have a lot of snow. I hope you guys are doing very well. And I wanted to come before, but as you know, this is a recent Facebook page for us. We've been on our French Facebook page for now about 3 years now. And we're slowly bringing our videos in English here for you. So I'm very happy to see you, well, to be with you and have this conversation today. So we're trying to translate our French videos so I don't have to redo them all and bring them to you here. But in any case, if not, I will do them in English. So today, because it's Kapha season and because it's mucus season and because it's allergy season soon, I wanted to come and talk to you about how to manage the Kapha dosha. Now, a lot of people pronounce it in English, Kapha dosha, but actually in Sanskrit, it's Kapha. So thank you for sharing this video if ever you're liking it, and it would greatly help our little heart-based business known and discovered by many. So I took some notes, as you must know, to make sure I don't forget everything I want to say to you, because it's the end of the day today. So one of the 3 doshas that govern the functioning or physiology of your body is Kapha. Vata dosha, there's 3 of them actually. There's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And Vata dosha, we've seen it actually on a video before here. And it governs everything that is mobility and that is movement inside of your body. Pitta, I've also discussed here on the page, and it governs everything in your metabolism, everything that is metabolic in your body. So everything that transforms is Pitta, like the liver is Pitta, the eyes is Pitta. So every organs that transforms in your body is associated to Pitta dosha. And Kapha dosha governs everything that is structural in your body. So whether it be muscles, bones, even fat tissues. And to understand Kapha dosha, we have to remember the first qualities of the first elements of nature that it's made of. And because the rishis, when they've decided upon translating types of individual, they looked at the nature and they started to see elements that were the making of that nature. And they found out 20 pair of opposite, which are the Gurvadi gunas. And with those opposite, this is the way to translate everything you see outside of you, but inside of you. And as Ayurveda teaches, the route to health and perfect health is the getting back to harmony. And how you get back to harmony is by a constant vigilance of likes attracts likes, attract likes, and opposite creates balance. So if I want to feel more relaxed, I can add to that relaxation a tea, a warm blanket. But if I feel lethargic, I'm going to be looking for an opposite. So I'm going to be looking to move a little. I may be looking for a tea that's a bit more spice. spiced like a chai tea. So it always, every hour, every moment of the day, the Ayurveda versed person will be constantly monitoring what qualities do I want to have more inside of me or have less to not aggravate myself. This is like the general outlook of the way we operate when we study Ayurveda and we want to deep dive in it and have a lifestyle that is more and more an Ayurvedic lifestyle. So getting back to Kapha, Kapha is made of two elements of which are found in nature, which is earth and water. Now, water is what gives the body the nourishment and the satisfaction, and everybody has the three doshas inside of them, but the combination will vary. So, and together, the percentage of each dosha will make up your prakriti. So your dosha when you were conceived. So if you go on our website on arielayurveda.com, we have also the English interface. And if you go on the English website and you choose English on the drop-down menu, you will be able to see our test to find out your dosha. Now, I'm not sure it's translated yet, but it is coming. And there's many tests online. And that will give you your the dosha that is more in greater proportion inside of you. Now, right now, as you are watching me, we would be looking at your imbalances. We would be speaking about your Vikriti. Now, your Vikriti is the picture of your doshas throughout the day at a certain moment. Are they in balance? Have you ran all day, been mobile all day, in an overheated house, and then Vata aggravated? So this is when we speak in Ayurveda about your Vikriti. Now, sometimes one dosha aggravates, and it aggravates too much. And right now, today, we will be speaking of Kapha. So water nourishes and gives the feeling of satisfaction. What that means is that people with Kapha dosha will be in general nourished and content by nature. They're a lot more calm. They're satisfied with life in general. And the element of earth inside of them is, and inside of you, is what gives us our solidity. So Kapha dosha, having more of that earth element, will have a structure which will be more dense than, let's say, a Vata or even a Pitta, because their bones, their weight will be more solid than everybody else, and more there. They're just so visible and a lot more present. Now, it's not an imbalance. It's their nature. It's their structure. To understand, so I've talked about the 10 pair of opposites. I want to look at Kapha dosha through the lens of the 10 pair of opposites. I won't go through all of them, but that's just such the way we should understand the doshas, but we should understand our body like very easily and learn the journey through healing ourselves by constantly monitoring those qualities and paying close attention to them. So Kapha dosha, if we look at mobile versus stable, which is one of the pair of the Gorvadi gunas, pardon me, Kapha, concerning the stability, I've mentioned it before, but they're people that move. They don't move a lot, and when they move slowly, and they have a solid nature. They're constant. They talk slowly, and because of the fact that they talk slowly, they can have a tendency and because all of those qualities, because they talk slowly, because they move slowly, they don't move much, then they have a tendency to gain weight. Now, that can take the form of their face, which usually will be rounder. The neck will be shorter and will be wider. And also on their skin, on their face, you will have more humidity, more oil. Even the eyes sometimes will have secretions and more fluid, more mucus. So in the nose, and also they're concerning their qualities. They're softer. They're like a mother in their temperament, and they don't get excited easily. Their skin is soft and their voice is soft, and they're often represented as having porcelain skin. Those are the ones, when we see in the ads that they have a white, like English porcelain skin, that's usually Kapha. And they're very friendly, they're nice, they're lovable. Like Kapha dosha are the people you want as friends. Like they're your best friends. And so usually they're often looked at or think about or represented about as a teddy bear. They're dense and they're solid. So I've talked about that quality. Their mental quality, they often, because they're slow to move and they're slow to talk, they often have the state of mind that is more cloudy. Things come to them slowly and things leave them slowly. They will process things longer before it will be completely assimilated. But when it does come out, then there won't be a lot of words. And it will be said very slowly, and every word will be important. Now, how do you manage? Let's say you find out that you're a Kapha dosha, or let's say that you're finding out that right now your Vikriti is Kapha dosha. If you've gained weight and if you've become more mucusy, even if you go to the bathroom and your number 2 is more mucusy, then it is an imbalance of Kapha dosha. And so how do you take care of that? Whether it's your Prakriti, so your dosha at the moment of conception, or your Vikriti, how do you manage Kapha dosha? So if you have a Kapha dosha nature, then you will want to manage it so you don't let it get aggravated. And if you're, just one thing before I forget, it's on my notes and I don't want to forget this. If your nature is Kapha dosha, your dosha of conception, and you're more subject, just know you're more subject than others to have a Kapha imbalance because of your tendencies, your samskaras already in that direction. That doesn't mean that other people can't have Kapha dosha imbalances. I've mentioned it before and I'm repeating it because it's important. But your dosha of conception is your dosha to watch out for because there's tendencies already in you in that direction. So Kapha dosha will aggravate when they have a life that is more sedentary. I don't know if it's the right word in English, but if it, they sit often and they don't move a lot, or they have a lifestyle that doesn't include a lot of physical activity, then they will have a tendency to being aggravated. And if they eat heavy food, a lot of food, then all the ingredients will be there to aggravate Kapha dosha. Now, you know that you have an imbalance, a Kapha imbalance, if you've gained weight, if you have a lot of mucus, if you have a tendency to want to sleep a lot or feeling lethargic, and also if you keep a lot of water inside of you. If you suffer from water retention, then this is a Kapha imbalance. Now, how do we correct that? And how do we prevent that? That's even more interesting. So concerning your diet, you will want to bring opposite quality. That means lighter foods in general, salads, but also know that in Ayurveda, a little quantity of food that is heavier, that's also considered light in Ayurveda. So let's say, for example, pasta or wheat bread aggravate Kapha. And I did post on the page here a Kapha food list earlier in a previous post. So pasta or wheat bread aggravates Kapha, sorry. But if you take it in small quantity, then that becomes light and then it's okay. So, also some people will say, well, I have a Kapha imbalance and I should stop eating sugar. Where in Ayurveda, when we mean sugar, we don't mean refined sugar. It could be dates, it could be honey, it could be other kind of sugar, and it's one of the 6 days that are very important in Ayurveda, and it's important for Kapha dosha as well, but you will take it in a small quantity. Now, in yoga, as in Ayurveda, we say that it's important to be filled up to 75% because we want to have a bit of air left in the stomach and drink a bit of water, not more than a quarter cup when we eat. So the digestion goes well as you're eating and as you're digesting. So you don't have those feeling of being bloated, those gas, and you don't eat too much. So if it's a salad or if it's pasta, then it will be different. The portions are a challenge in our society. The huge bowls of salad and vinaigrette, you might say to me, well, it's light. Yeah, but the portion makes it heavy. And when you put the vinaigrette on top of it, it's just a lot to digest. And then the digestion won't be as efficient. And the body will create toxins. And then, you know, other problems will rise from that. So how do you control the portion? Well, that is one of the keys for Kapha dosha. So at the end of a meal, you should still feel quite light. You shouldn't have the urge to fall asleep, or you shouldn't start to be sleepy. If you feel sleepy after eating, then you've aggravated Kapha dosha. Now, what are the best food to eat for Kapha? Everything, you know, all those leafy greens, the light grains like quinoa, like corn. I'm looking forward. Let me ask my hubby. Daniel, comment ça se dit orge? Barley? Oh, barley. This is what happens when you translate and English is not your mother's tongue. Thank you so much for understanding. So barley is good for Kapha dosha. And so you can take a bit of water, as I mentioned, or a bit of liquid when you're eating with your meal, but not anything, like not everything you should be drinking with your meal. Anything that has sugar in it should be avoided. Everything that is heavy and thick should be avoided as well. Milk, it's a lot better for Kapha dosha, soy milk. Kapha dosha should also stay away from meat, because meat is too much like Kapha dosha. Remember I said like attracts like? That's what I mean. So, because meat is muscles, it's humid, it has some humidity to it, which is going to aggravate Kapha dosha. And by the way, Kaphas make great vegetarians. So you will add some spices to your dishes, ginger, pepper, anything that's a bit spicy is wonderful for Kapha dosha, because it acts like an antidote, and it will dry up and take away some of the humidity and the mucosity that usually Kapha has too much of. And also it brings warmth to Kapha dosha, which is typically cold. So Kapha excels at eating 2 meals a day. Now you will tell me, I don't understand. We've been taught like forever to eat 3 meals a day and to snack and have a little snack in between. And well, not in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, we look at Kapha doshas and we know that those constitutions have a slow digestion. And so usually that takes them longer to feel hungry. And so we will wait that the last meal is completely digested before we bring in some more food. Otherwise, again, like what I've said before, it creates toxins in the body. Now, in our next videos, we will look at combinations. We will study and look together and walk together and learn together. What does that look when it's Vata Pitta constitution? Or what does it look like when it's Pitta Kapha constitution? Now, another thing that is very important for Kapha, it's to be very active, to become physically active, because you want to antidote their stable nature and their tendency to stay more on a sofa than to be moving around. So to get up and to move, and even it's to go out for a walk, to park your car further when you go to do errands, and even if it's against your tendency, you have to make the decision to stay healthy. Now, going to the gym might be a challenge for Kapha dosha. But then we will usually suggest that a lifestyle, an active lifestyle, will be a lot easier for them. And, you know, if you can say you're going to go to the gym, you can pay a gym, but what's the point if that goes so much against the grain that you don't go? So it's better those activities when you just go around, park the car further, a routine, a habit to go out for a walk every day would do wonders for Kapha dosha. Now, Kapha also is not only moving the body. You know, Ayurveda always speaks to the body, the mind, and the soul. And it's also about, for Kapha dosha in their mind, to have a life that stimulates them. So whether it go see a movie, or just go away for 2 days in nature, have experiences, explore, see new spaces, and that contributes to the balance of Kapha dosha. Now, sugar, I just want to backtrack a little bit. Sugar will have to be very light for Kapha dosha. And when they do take some sugar, then it should be honey, which is the best sugar for Kapha dosha, because it has a little warming quality to it. But if you do take some, then spice it up a little bit. Put some, let's say, one of the best way to take honey for Kapha dosha, put it in a tea, put a pepper and, how do you say that? Pepper and, let me ask again, comment on dit clou de girofle? Clover? Cloves. So put some, ouais, so merci. So put some pepper and put some cloves in your tea, and that will be beautiful for Kapha dosha. So, and also concerning the snacks, I want to say something, because it's so rooted. I find it so rooted in our way of living here in America. At least in America, I know it is. Ayurveda isn't very fond of snacking in between meals, just because you want to make sure that the food is fully digested before you bring in new food. Because that's agni, which is like the main interest in clinical Ayurveda. This is where all disease starts, in the digestion, the digestive tract, and your stomach and your colon and all of the digestion organ. So we really focus on keeping agni in balance. And agni, which is your digestive fire, we want to make sure that it doesn't burn too much, where things go by so fast and your food is digested so fast that sometimes when you go to the toilet, well, you see that it's been digested so fast because it just comes out in water. And we don't want either that foods are not digested, because then it's all that the wood, which is your food, it just lays around, it's not digested, and then you get bloated and you get reflux, and all that toxins built in. So most of the time, and that's an interesting fact, very interesting fact. Did you know, and why I was explaining that thing about snacking, is that really got my attention when the director of our college, my college, which is the California College of Ayurveda, when he said to us that, very surprisingly, you would think that most overweight people, a lot of overweight people, would be Kapha dosha. Well, that wasn't his finding. He said to us that most of the people that he came across with overweight were actually Vata dosha. Their constitution was Vata dosha. And what happened is that Vata got imbalanced and more aggravated. And so Vata is not satisfied of their life, is ungrounded, is too mobile, too busy, the head never stops, it's all over the place, and it's too much in the ether and not enough grounded in their routine, and they start becoming unsatisfied with their life, and then they eat, trying to find comfort and grounding in eating, and they even binge and eat in the evening or at night. So then Kapha rises, and Kapha aggravates and overflows, and then you would look at that person and you would think that's a Kapha dosha, but actually it's Vata dosha that aggravated to the point that it flowed into Kapha, and Kapha rose. So if you snack in the evening or at night, and your digestion, of course, your metabolism slows down, then of course you're aggravating, not only you're aggravating the chances that this all turns into fat tissue, but also you will increase Kapha. So this is why snacking is not something that is promoted in Ayurveda. And if you're someone that has those cravings, then you're most likely Vata as well. It's Vata who has cravings. So I found that very interesting. Very, very interesting. This is why I wanted to share that with you. Now, so Vata is usually not satisfied. Sometimes they're dry, they're anxious, they eat more, and then that overflows, and that becomes Kapha visheshan. So now, a taste that is beautiful, and I didn't want to go before leaving this with you. A taste that is amazing for Kapha is the bitter taste. So, because, and especially if you're a Kapha that has joints that are hurting, which would be a cold inflammation, then curcuma, dandelion. Dandelion is such a beautiful plant for Kapha dosha, and it's great for your liver. Kale, eggplant, artichokes, sesame seeds, sesame oil, cumin, saffron, aneth, and I don't think it's called aneth in English. I think it's called dill, and fenugreek. So those are Greek fennel. Yeah. I think I said it right. So those will be very helpful to bring back balance for Kapha dosha. So I hope you've enjoyed my live. I'm sorry if sometimes I mispronounce, so I'm looking for my words, but all things improve with practice. And as I said previously, this page is quite new. And I'm so used to speaking about Ayurveda in French now that it's a transition. So bear with me. Thank you for your grace and for your patience and your generosity toward me. And we'll close with an Om, like I like to do in my studies, like I've learned to do in my studies, and which is the sound of the universe, of the cosmos. And it's such a healthy mantra for your body, and I'll come back to that later on. So if you want to take one moment with me to relax, take a deep breath, and when you exhale, we'll say Om together. Be well, be safe, be blessed, and be loved. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.